Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to the video. This time is of the Power Rangers Lightning Collection Time Force Red Ranger. Now, we already know we're getting with the Lightning Collection, so I'm gonna try to make this short and sweet. Yeah, is it different? No. Is it familiar? Yes. But something about this one just kind of feels a little different, but I don't know how to really place the words for it, so I'm gonna try to explain it the best way I do with pictures. But yeah, this is one of those things where the Lightning Collection improves to I want to say improve in ways that are very subtle, but they do make a major difference. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Gotta say, Time Force Red has only one issue that I can really talk about that honestly bugs me, is the fact that his helmet sits low, which is fine. We've noticed that with the Lightning Collection and most of the Power Ranger stuff. That because it remains mostly suit accurate. But with his, it sits so low, it removes any function of what he would have for articulation. If you lift it up though, which I'm going to try to do, keep my hands dry, but if you sit it just a little higher, and this one's actually a little too high, but if you just sit a little lower, you actually get a little more room for up and down articulation, right? Problem is, it sits much lower to the point where it looks like he has no neck. So just keep that in mind. That's kind of the one thing that bugs me. It definitely, because it sits so low, it removes any sort of articulation whatsoever because it sits so low. But it is accurate, so I had to look at it a couple times just to make sure I wasn't tripping. But yeah, now in terms of the overall look, it definitely has a very nice look. It is a slim enough body so that it doesn't look overly muscular like most of the American stuff that is done previously for it. This one looks a little bit more suit accurate. It's more lean, it's more built. And for some reason, his midsection just looks a little bit thinner than previously, even though I looked at it, it's the same size. So let's jump into articulation for that matter so we can talk about it. We've already discussed the head. So arm-wise, we still get our standard Lightning Collection articulation, which rolls all the way up. You still have your bicep swivel and your rotation of the arm in general. That rotates all the way around. Just in case you couldn't see that. As you can see, rotates all the way around. We have our really, really beautiful butterfly joint that allows you to go forwards and backwards. We have our double jointed arms for when you get to flex. His armbands are absolutely molded in. As you can see, I have some paint flaws, but that kind of stuff doesn't bother me. You have your hinge, which goes up and down. Actually, this one is horizontal more so than vertical. Same for the left hand. And with all this great articulation, we actually get a really nice midsection articulation where some of the other stuff kind of wobbles in and out. This one is really strong. So we have a nice rotation that tilts side to side with no problem, right? And then we have that actual forward ab crunch that goes really far forward and really far back. Of course, this is across the board for most of the male counterparts of the Power Rangers stuff. This one just seems to be a little bit more smoother and a little bit more refined. So I really like where this one is going. If this is one of those things where they plan on improving what they've already done right, I like where this is going, especially that the arms actually sit a little bit more flush as well too. The belt can be moved around just a little bit as it sits in a little groove spot around the waist. And as far as the legs go, we have our forward movement, which can't go really far forward up, but it is what it is. We have our thigh swivel. We have our double joints here in the leg. We have our Hasbro-like articulation for the one that, you know, they're pretty much famous for: forwards, backwards, and incredible rocking and tilting. So with that being said, he actually comes packaged with trigger hands on both one. So if you want to give him a blaster in each hand, that's fine. As far as accessories though, I think what they packed with him is actually pretty nice. Oh, by the way, you still have those rotating boot cuts. Almost forgot about that. Now, one of the cool things about this, and I like to talk about it, is that they don't give you too many of the signature combining weapons outside of the Mighty Morphin, because their regular signature weapons would combine. Now, with other teams, though, we seem to not be getting that. So I'm hoping they do that as an accessory pack. I would very much like those to be packs to be added on for combining weapons and things like that, because they're actually tossing in a ton of effects. So accessory-wise, what we get is we get an unmasked head. And as we get some more light on it, I think this looks like a very pale version of him, but overall it does pretty much look like the actor that played him. It's just a little off and maybe just a little bit pale. It looks definitely pale, but it's definitely the likeness is there. you will get 2 hands. One will be a right hand closed fist. The other will give you a thumbs up like closed fist. So you can thumbs up. Hopefully when they do Quantum Ranger, because I'm really hoping he actually gets done sooner than later. I love those two teaming up. We'll get those extra hands to kind of show you. We have the Chrono Blaster, which is a normal weapon for them to have. Most of the Time Force Rangers have it. And then you have the Chrono Blades. All Time Force Rangers have these as well too, except that the tip is of their color. Now, as far as the combining weapon, we don't get that, like I said. So, with the really cool thing about this is that you can actually combine the weapon. So that way you get a Naginata, technically. And these are made of soft plastic, so you don't have to worry too much about breaking them. But you can break this, so just be careful. These are really nice. And when you have the blade in hand, you actually get a really cool effect part that you slide through. And then you slide the tip through there so that it lines up and it stays on the sword. Really nice stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. It's very simple and to the point. And like I said, I've really been enjoying these guys, but I am reviewing them because I enjoy them. Because it's pretty much the same thing. We already know that. But you kind of just get your fun worth and you get some cool pictures out of it, I guess. But this has been always, the Lightning Collection stuff has actually been really fun. So yeah, real quick though, let's jump into size comparison. I'll see you guys in about 2 seconds. Hey guys, now we're going to jump into the size comparison. So let's get to it. First things first, let's compare it with some other Lightning Collection stuff. Nothing too crazy. I'm going to use the Black Ranger. And like I said, as you can see, it just looks a little thinner in the waist area than it does for the rest of these guys. And I definitely believe now his middle waist is cut different than everybody else's so far. It's cut more like the putties, which I'm actually going to show you right now, which we're actually going to put up next. So here he is next to a putty. And I hope we get more, I want to say bad guys from other series. I want to get more army builders. That would be very, very dope. Here we are with a Ranger Slayer. To show you just how small she is compared to them. And she's just about a shoulder smaller, just, yeah, about half a helmet smaller. Real nice comparison. So let's take these guys away. Now I want to compare it. Because Time Force is actually pretty funny that it's Time Force. So I actually also happen to get Dino from a friend to review. So I'm actually going to compare it to another time traveler, which is the Renewal Kamen Rider Dino. So you can see the Dino linked up with the Time Force Red. And although they're not the same height, they definitely do fit a nice size comparison with each other. It's really nice. Next up, we're going to compare it to an Articulated Icons Ninja. And as you can see, if you want to fight ninjas because you're time travelers, you know, do it. Next up, we're going to do your main man, Kamen Rider Kuga. Even though I did a Kamen Rider already, got to put Kuga in just because it's me. It's what I do. Now you can see Kuga is a little bit smaller as well, too. Next up, we'll do a 6-inch Marvel Legends. I happen to have some fire with me, so that's what I'm choosing. And if you go from the top of the head and not the actual flame, you'll see that he's actually bigger than the Lightning Collection stuff. Next up, we have a 1000 toy synthetic human / carb, my combination guy, composite human, I should call him. For some reason, he is getting worn out on his limbs as well too. Last but not, well, not actually last, but then we have the Mezco Me, which actually compares up. It's a bit bigger than that of the Lightning Collection stuff. And then we have the infamous Mythic Legions, which is definitely going to be bigger, but you get to see how you want to square up with it. So all in all, Lightning Collection stuff has continued to get better. I definitely like that new midsection. Shows it to be a little bit thinner and just get that better range of motion. It's really nice. So again, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you found it informative. And as always, guys, please be good, do good, drink your water. Later.